How's it going, everybody? It's your boy, and today's video is about Lauren Southern being denied entry into the UK on grounds of racism, and also to a lesser extent Brittany Pettibone and her boyfriend. Now, they were going to be in a free speech event in Hyde Park, which I'd actually not heard of for some reason, and Brittany Pettibone, Lauren Southern, and her boyfriend, not Lauren Southern's boyfriend, Brittany Pettibone's boyfriend, we're going to speak there and interview Tommy Robinson. And they were denied entry because the British Home Office deemed them to be racist. And allegedly, Pettibone's boyfriend, his speech and other things he said is apparently going to incite racial violence. I've not seen the speech, I've not even seen what he says, but him and Pettibone are alright. And I guess maybe, potentially, because of the Home Office is cooked, they may think anything critical of certain things may be deemed as violence in that social justice way, but I don't really know. I've not seen it, I've not heard him speak, I barely see Pettibone speak on these issues. I don't know what she said, I don't know what he said, but I doubt it's actually that bad. Lauren Southern, well, she's not a racist either. Like, I don't know about the other two, they probably are. I mean, if you're part of an alt-right, right identitarian movement, chances are you probably are. But Lauren Southern actually isn't. She'll pander to them, she'll try and get their shekels, but I don't think she's actually racist. But I've seen people legitimately outraged about this, and it's like, guys, this is par for the course. Britain has essentially, over the past, it's got to be about 5 to 6 years, has basically become Australia, because this is what Australia was known for. They were known for banning violent video games, not all violent video games, but a lot of them, and denying people entry based on things that they've said. And you can look at no better example, maybe even a worse example, than Tyler the Creator says a few words in his songs and he gets banned, even though people like Jay-Z, Kanye West, loads of other rap artists have said things equivalent to him, but because he was the hot topic of the day, he got banned. So we see how not only are the British Home Office hypocritical, but also cooked. I mean, look, we should be pointing out the absurdity, not really being outraged, because we should know this is what we're going to expect from any government in this country from now until they get their act together. I mean, this is the same government that is bringing back in 400 traitors, as in jihadists, from ISIS and Syria, and hoping that they become productive members of society. I mean, if they are going to be productive members of society, they're probably going to be productive killers in society. But hey, you know what? May, I admire your positivity and your optimism. These people have not committed violence. I've not seen anything at the moment to suggest that the other two, Pettibone and her boyfriend, because sorry, I forgot his name, have actually incited anything, but Lauren Southern hasn't. However, what was she expecting, and what was anybody else expecting? Especially what the other two have done. We all know about them. Lauren Southern, she goes around wearing Identity Europa t-shirts. She did that stupid thing in Italy, getting herself arrested. And not only that, but she has flirted with the alt-right, again, in my opinion, trying to get their shekels to be their fashy waifu. And other than that, yeah, just cavorting around with people who are alt-right and are known identitarians and racist. Now, do I think that that is a deserving reason to be banned? Of course not. No, it's retarded. It's stupid. She should be allowed in, they can say whatever they want to say, and if they do actually incite hatred and violence and want people to go out and kill minorities, well then maybe they should be punished, because that is against the law. But if they aren't going to do that, if they don't do that, then let them hang themselves by their own words. And as for Lauren, she's not going to do anything like that anyway. She's never been proven to have done anything like that. She's never said anything like that. It's retarded. I think if you don't want to appear to be a racist, and if you don't want people to think that you are one, it's best not to really associate with them, at least in that way, because she appears to be more like friends than just debates them or talks to them to understand them. Like, you know, you can be friends with them, but you got to expect trigger-happy organisations like the Home Office to see that and go, we can't let these people in. Now, that's something that has been brought up by some of the anti-SJW types, which has brought this into some question. So let's just talk about this briefly before I get back into the main topic. Now, this comes from My Thousand Faces. Now, they claim that this is some kind of source template and it comes from some medium.com article by some guy who basically got detained himself because he couldn't, prove who he was. He made some kind of mistake. Now, the person Googled the code at the top right, IS82 no ARRLE, which stands for, according to this travel.psychexchange.com answer, no appeal rights, refusal of leave to enter. IS82 is one of the rules. And now they're claiming that because it also has the same print fault, basically part of it is obscured because it didn't print out right, this means it must be fake. Now, I don't know if it's fake actually, I have no idea. It could be that they're using the same kind of printer, which is still faulty after a couple of months because that article was written back in November. Or maybe it's just a coincidence and the printer simply printed it the same way, or they have some issues that they've not fixed, because it's pretty clear from here that Brittany's letter is unprofessional, to say the least. Now, yes, you can Photoshop these things, but I've not seen anything to suggest that it is. I mean, it would have to be a pretty good Photoshop job. Now, another thing could be that she's not showing the whole picture. Now, I don't know if this is the original picture that she showed, but I am not convinced. I think nobody should be convinced until somebody does a bit more sleuthing. I think this is something for weaponized artists on 4chan to potentially investigate. Basically, we have no evidence either way. So let's move on to another thing. Now, what is interesting is that some people have pointed out that those on the alt-right and those on the SJW side, and even those who are neither, so anti-SJW types or skeptics, are proven to have been hypocrites, because basically the SJWs are now in favour of border control, because when it's somebody else that they disagree with being denied entry, it's brilliant. But when the alt-right have somebody that they love is being denied entry, that's hypocritical, because they're usually for strict border controls and for the country to decide who they want to be allowed into their own country. And the anti-SJWs basically agree with the alt-right on that a sovereign country has the right to determine who they want into their country. Now, personally, yeah, I think we should have the right to decide who we want in our country. And sadly, even though I disagree with the reasons, Britain has made a decision, or rather the Home Office has made a decision for Britain, and these people now can't enter. But how do you defend this? How do you even, criticise it without looking like a hypocrite, to be honest? Because, the reasons are bullshit, and the reasons why the SJWs are defending it are bullshit. So I don't think it really matters either way, because both sides end up looking like that, and it's one of those things. It's a conundrum, it's a paradox, and for better or for worse, this is a decision made, and ultimately I'm gonna have to say Britain's made the decision. There's not much I can really do about that, I'm afraid. Things like this only make the situation worse in my country, and only improves the image of the alt-right, and it only improves the image. So the British government really have shot themselves in the foot over this. Look what happens when you give the far right a platform. They fail to actually take it and actually present themselves as something viable. Nick Griffin, he went on Question Time, even though everybody was telling the BBC not to let him on. He got on, and since then, they don't even exist anymore. They're bankrupt. I mean, admittedly, that was a long process, but that was part of the reason why they started to fall when they were initially getting a bit prominent, because they've given the platform to hang themselves on. The thing is, the more they ban people like this who aren't doing anything wrong and allow people in that are going to do things wrong and have been proven to have done things wrong and are violent and nasty and terrorists, the more our country is going to sink into a hellhole that will probably have to do some drastic measures in order to get ourselves out of it. It's going to make the situation worse in our country. I mean, if they don't want us to basically put barriers in front of Christmas markets, then perhaps it's best not to bring back 400 jihadists. I'm just saying. But other than that, yeah, I reiterate, none of them deserve to be banned. They should have been allowed in to say what they wanted to say and then leave. I don't think that people should be outraged as such. They should be rightly disappointed, but they should just mock this and just be like, yeah, well done May, well done British Conservative government for showing how cooked you are and how wrong you are and how this is only going to make you look worse. And also realise that, yeah, Lauren Southern, cavorting with these types and doing the things that she has done is only going to reflect badly on her reputation with governments like my own. If she wants to be able to have a freedom of movement that will allow her to go to these functions, she's probably going to have to change her tune a little bit, because, again, it's tactics, it's politics. This is what's going to happen. So I think people shouldn't act as if they're so surprised. That's what I'm trying to say. Maybe I should have worded that better, but anyway, until next time, it's been your boy, and I'll see you later.